Fucking you know, I don't never made a song yet.
The Charger is
nonsense.
Think about all the times you get instantly killed mid-charge in Versus, but in campaign that suddenly changes. Why do you think that? Well, because the Charger has secret damage resistance when he charges. This is why he could tank so much while he's charging, yet die so fast when he's not charging. This does not apply to the Versus Charger. Why? Because the Versus Charger is a clown compared to his campaign counterpart, and just like every other campaign special affected, the campaign Charger is good at exploiting the game.
Reloading.
What? For example, the campaign Charger does not need to face you in order to scratch you, in addition to scratching while stumbling. But the main thing is that the campaign Charger is good at exploiting walls. I've never seen the Versus Charger pull these stunts like the campaign Charger. It's like he took a full bath in oil and is sliding against the wall. Best of all, the campaign Charger can sometimes do a silent charge. When the Charger charges, he makes a very distinct sound effect. Sometimes the campaign Charger hides this with his usual spawn sound. If you get charged while on the minigun, camera will go crazy for a couple of seconds. The Charger talks smack. Yeah, he cusses you out. His voice lines are pretty depressing when you listen to them. He's begging you to stop shooting him. But this is very distinct for the Charger. Since other special affected, it's pretty hard to understand what they're trying to say. But with the Charger, you kind of actually understand what he says if you listen close enough. When a Charger charges a teammate, they usually go silent. But if you shoot a Charger while he's charging a survivor, the survivor will be more concerned about your friendly fire than him being charged off the map.
You don't have to be.
What the hell are you?
Good old-fashioned death charge. When you really think about it, it doesn't make sense. Because for one, the Charger can survive some long falls, and sometimes he can't. It's almost like the Charger knows in his head where the death barriers are in the game. Or what about the scratching while charging? How does that make any sense? The Charger is defying physics here. He keeps the survivor in place while moving his fist hard enough to do massive damage. Try tackling someone the way the Charger does, and try to punch him at the same time. I'm positive you're not going to be able to do it. The Versus Charger has some of the most game-ending combo potential of all the special affected, only possibly being beaten by the tank. The jockey can pull someone near a ledge and the Charger can charge him off. Similar to the smoker, the Charger and Spitter combo is as strong as the Hunter and Spitter combo because of how long it takes a survivor to recover from a charge. But worst of all, the Charger does not have that secret buff that the campaign Charger has while he's charging. That's right, he'll die in one melee like a little baby. Why? What's the reason behind this? I don't know. And another thing, the Versus Charger is probably the hardest pounce to land. I'm not sure why. Out of all the specials, it feels like the Charger misses the most out of all of them, compared to the campaign Charger, where if you don't go out of your way to dodge it, it will hit, even if you're not even close to the Charger. Lastly, the Charger is very similar to the tank, where he can halt survivors and completely stall. Think about No Mercy's finale or the Dead Center windows. Pressure is on when you're playing the Charger in these death charge zones, similar to the pressure of playing the tank. If you miss this charge, chances are you're gonna get kicked. This halting of the survivors becomes even harder to proceed once the enemy team gets the smoker combo, or the jockey pulling someone to a ledge. I mean, any good pounce can end a Versus game, but the Charger can really end the Versus game on the spot. If the Charger gets an early game death charge or a death stroke, people leave instantly. There's also a strange bug where if you switch to the tank mid-charge, the Charger will change directions mid-charge. The way the Charger stumbles makes no sense. You're telling me that he could stumble from a propane tank and a pipe bomb and explosive rounds, but it'll completely resist the grenade launcher? What kind of logic is that? And what's with these inconsistent shove rules? The survivors can shove an entire horde of zombies that are full-on rage, full-on sprint mode, and they just elbow him with an elbow. But not the Charger? What makes the Charger so special? Better yet, whack the Charger so hard with a frying pan that he is sent to the stratosphere. I get the tank. It makes way more sense with the tank. But the Charger, he's all show. After all, he just straight up avoided the Left 4 Dead 1 survivors. Remember, he's not even in Left 4 Dead 1. That's how much of a scaredy cat he is. Another thing is that he can hit the wall so hard that it sends a shockwave strong enough to stumble the survivors who stand near it, which according to, let's be honest, clowning AI, is equivalent to blowing up a crap ton of TNT or hitting the wall at a faster than sound above Mach 2. This is a low ball since I actually don't know how to do the math well, and you're telling me that this guy can't survive a frying pan to the face face. I don't know what's more impressive, the survivor straight up recovering from the impact that a charger has when they get hit into the wall, or the fact that the wall that the charger's hitting doesn't have a single crack on it. The tank's gotta respect the charger, cause not even the tank can punch hard enough to stumble the survivors. I may have just power scaled the charger out of the nth dimension here, but the charger can also have the issue of stumbling when he hits these small little objects along the floor of the map, as well as having a weird glitchy interaction with certain props on the floor, which will clip around and mess up your charge. A big guy like the charger, he just can't, I don't know why he just doesn't have the strength to push the freaking garbage can aside. You can also avoid doing the stumbling animation when the charger charges near you by jumping as soon as the charger hits the wall. This also works for other things like the boomer's explosion. Sometimes the charger can do different animations depending on where he's pounding. These animations look really wonky compared to the charger just pounding you against the floor. There's one where he throws you into the roof of the building, but it just, I don't even know what to say about this. It just looks weird. Some survivors have different pounding speeds, though the difference is literally unnoticeable. Also, sometimes the charger's model is so big that he could shoot him through walls and doors. You can do this with any special infected, but with the charger, it's a little bit more noticeable due to the size of his arm. The charger also has this unique trait where kills someone, he instantly regenerates his charge, so you could do a second charge right after.
Nice sniper. Body block, body block.
Other than the super special infected, the charger has the most HP out of all the other special infected by a landslide, almost double the amount of the jockey's HP, and the jockey already feels tanky enough. Now this doesn't really change how you deal with the charger. You still deal with him just like how you deal with all the other special infected. Gotta aim for the head. If you melee the charger normally, he'll take 2 swings, but if you go for the head, the charger will die instantly. Same applies to all weapons. That's the only real way to handle the charger other than dodging the charge, which again, dodging the charge and then finishing off the charger is probably the most effective way to deal with him other than headshotting. But sometimes the map doesn't allow you to dodge it, which leads to you having to ascend and whack the charger's head mid-charge, which only one-shots in versus. This isn't ever going to work in campaign because campaign charger, just like the campaign special effect, are always stronger than the original. I don't understand it. Now for the craziest part about the charger. If you combine 2 chargers into one, kind of like how when you put down 3 wither skeleton skulls onto the freaking soul sand, he becomes the tank. If the charger is so similar to the tank in terms of the mutation, how come his head isn't as durable as the tank's head? Since if you land headshots on the tank, it doesn't do more damage than landing a shot on his legs or elbows or shoulders. But with the charger, this changes, but they're basically the same special infected. It's just that the charger got the half body treatment. I don't even know how to explain it. By far, for me, the most confusing thing about the charger is how does he climb? Look at the animation. I mean, it looks like he's using both arms, but how? His other little arm flops around. I don't think he could even use it if he wanted to. The charger just keeps breaking the laws of physics. He's not just climbing, he's floating up by his own will, by his own power, by the fact that he could just break all the rules in the game. The trailer version of the charger just seems like a menace. For the most part, the trailer version of specials are pretty accurate to their gameplay, like the jockey. Everyone always runs away from the jockey. But the charger, he's out here freaking doubling the speed he usually runs. And on top of that, taking down fences like it's nothing. Even in the official trailer, the charger throws Ellis through a wall and then combos it with a pound. Talk about false advertising. The real charger could barely charge through a small prop in the real game. Go ahead, charge into a fence line in the middle of a versus game, then come back to the comment section and tell me how it went. Despite all the things the charger can do, even if he and the spitter change how teams clump up in Left 4 Dead 2, he never, in my opinion, felt broken. So many games add characters that completely break the game so much to the point where there is no recovery from when they release. The charger has clear weaknesses and a high skill floor, just like with all the other special infected. His AI counterpart, just like every other campaign special infected in this game, was ahead of their time. He often does things that the real players can never even try to do. He exploits, he breaks the rules, while the versus version of the charger is still kind of on par with his campaign version. Both versions have clear weaknesses and strengths that overpower each version of the charger. But this is one of the few cases where I can agree that the versus charger is on par with his campaign version, unlike the jockey and the tank, which obviously both have extremely different big strengths compared to their versus versions. The versus version of the charger can end versus games with skill. But in order to do that, the survivors have to make mistakes or be inexperienced. The tank can carry, but the charger is the de facto to whether a game in versus will last longer than 20 seconds or go through the entire freaking campaign. I think the charger was a good addition to Left 4 Dead 2, and I hope that whenever they add another special infected to maybe in some million-year future in Left 4 Dead 3, they're similar to the additions they added in Left 4 Dead 2. Because even though I think the charger in versus can definitely shut down a game, it doesn't feel like how I felt like when they added Bridget or Jetpack Cat into Overwatch, or freaking basically every month a new champion is released in League of Legends. They just completely ruined the game. I feel like the charger to this day since Left 4 Dead 2 was a great and fun addition to Left 4 Dead 2. In fact, the charger is about to def charge us right now.
Oh.